I'm only doing this once. What you get is what you get. You know, there are times when you just got to sit back and relax. We're here at Bubba's Garage today, and we have developed a completely new set of diagnostic procedures and test tips. We call this Bubba's Technical Tips. The first one that we've developed is a chart that we call fuel pressure chart. We know, running a diagnostic hotline, that sometimes you just don't have time to use a fuel gauge, and some technicians just absolutely don't want to put one on. So what we did is we made what we call a fuel pressure chart. The fuel pressure chart's pretty easy. All you got to do is access the fuel system, and you can push down on the Schrader valve with your finger, or if you can't get a Schrader valve, all you got to do is just absolutely loosen a fuel line with the engine running. If there ain't no fuel coming out, then we figure that pressure's 0. If it hits the hood, we think that pressure's probably 5 to 8. If it squirts all over the fender, it's 10 to 15. If it splashes off the fender onto the hood and into the next bay, that's probably 25 or 30. If it squirts to the garage roof, all over the car and gets a little bit on the shop owner, that's probably 30 to 40 PSI. Don't be a fool, use a gauge. Next test we did, and again we get this in from time to time, is the vacuum test. And people call us and they say on the hotline, say, the engine won't start, and I say, how much vacuum does it have? And they said, well, you know, the vacuum feels good. And I said, well, I'll tell you what I need you to do. I need you to tell me how it feels. Now, sometimes the dog don't even believe these tips. So if you don't feel anything, what you do is you start the engine up, and you put your thumb over the vacuum hose. If ain't nothing, if you don't feel anything, we ask you to change thumbs and retest. Because some people smash their thumb, and if they smash the thumb, there ain't no feeling in it. If there ain't no feeling in it, then you're going to have to use a different thumb. If you still don't feel anything, we figure that's low to none. If you got a light suction on your thumb, we figure that's 1 to 5. If it causes the skin to wrinkle up just a bit, that's 1 to 5. If its skin wrinkles, that's 5 to 8. If your thumb turns blue, that's 8 to 10. If it creates a hickey on your thumb, you all know what a hickey is, it's 10 to 12. If it creates pain, it's 18 to 20. If it doesn't release your finger and you can't get your finger off the hose, we figure that's probably 20 to 25. The next test we did, and we invented this one at Bubba's Garage in Newport, Indiana to hill climb, is ignition voltage output test. You know, sometimes a mechanic ain't got a scope, and sometimes you ain't got them fancy electronic things. So what you got to do is you got to create your own. So what we do is you hold a wrench, and you pick that wrench up, and you hold the wrench in your right hand, and you just reach over and grab that spark plug wire with your left hand. And when you grab the spark plug wire with your left hand, more than likely that's going to cause you to throw the wrench. When you throw the wrench, if you throw it 10 feet, we figure that's 10,000 volts. 20 feet is 15,000 volts. If you throw it 30 feet, it's 25,000 volts. Now sometimes some of the guys throw it over 30 feet. If they throw it over 30 feet, it must be one of them new DIS ignitions. What you need to do then is just use a bigger wrench and do it again. So that's one of Bubba's scope tests. The next test is impacts. You know, people don't want to use a torque wrench. They don't want to use a torque wrench from time to time, and they can't access it because they got this brand new wrench. So what we've done is we developed a torque chart, and the torque chart's developed on the number of BAPs coming out of the intake wrench. So you don't need to check the torque. All you got to do, if you want 25 to 35 pounds and you're using an Ingersoll or a Snap-on, you just put that wrench up there and go BAP. 35 to 45 is BAP, BAP. 45 to 60 is BAP, BAP, BAP. And 45, 60 to 75 is BAP, BAP, BAP. 75 to 90 is BAP, 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 BAP. Now if it's a Snap-on, you got an extra BAP, 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 BAP. Now if you got a 90 to 100 pound torque, then you go BAP, 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 BAP. Okay, all guns, if you use 7 BAPs or over, we figure that's at least 100 foot-pounds of torque. Now, the last one we do, and this is one of the more interesting ones, is what we call the idio illumination chart. You know, sometimes, again, people don't want to use the scope, and they want to use one of them bulbs, and they want to use one of them test lights. So, we never do know, is the bulb bright, is the bulb dim, how many volts does it take to light a bulb? So we did some research on that, me and the dog, and we did a no light chart. If you look at the bulb, and you look at the idio illumination chart, and you look at the bulb here, and there ain't no light, there ain't no voltage. If there ain't no voltage, there ain't no bulb. Now if it might be glowing and you don't really know, that's probably 1 to 3 volts. If it barely glows, that's probably 3 to 5. If it's brighter than 2 but a little more than 3, that's probably 5 to 7. If it's same as a bald head on a sunny day, that's probably 7 to 9. If it grows brightly and gaining intensity as you go, it's getting brighter, that's 9 to 11. If it's almost bright enough to read by, that's 11 to 13. If it's bright enough that you still see it when you look away, that's probably 13 to 15. If it shines with the intensity of a halogen lamp, that's 15 to 17. If you think it might be a sign from God, that's probably 19. If it flashes with the intensity of a Minolta flash bulb 3 foot from your place, you're probably hooked on the wrong wire. That's probably 20 to 40,000 volts. That's probably secondary ignition. Don't be an idiot. Use a scope. If you need any tech tips, you just call Bubba and the dog.